Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, one and all. Good evening. Thank you for tuning back in on the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360, the Melanin Report 360. Like, follow, share, subscribe, like, follow, share, subscribe, like, follow, share, and subscribe. So you had a good day, a beautiful day, hump day, Ash Wednesday, all of the above. If you acknowledge all of that, perhaps you do, perhaps you don't, but it's all good either way. So thank you again for tuning in this evening. I am your host, Deanne, and I'm coming at you live out of the Valley of the Sun. We had a beautiful day today. It was quite breezy. I know it's going to be cold tonight because I think it's cold almost the entire country. It's really chilly, willy nilly. And for that, we can be grateful and thankful. We don't have any snow on the ground, so I'll take cold. It is February, so I'm gonna take cold any day of the week during the winter other than snow. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, sweatshirt, etc. So I didn't want to see another snow um, snowfall, and that's why I am out here in the Valley of the Sun. So we had a sunny day. People were out and about. I had to run a couple of errands for my contractor because he's still finishing up some stuff. So I didn't have the right size on something. I had to go back to the home improvement store, and hopefully he'll be back in a couple of days so we can finish up some stuff that we have started. So thank you again for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe. So let me read my fair use disclaimer, as we know we need to do, because there's been a lot of things going on that I need to kind of mention. I definitely want to read this fair use disclaimer. So, copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright stature that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So hope I didn't stumble a couple of times. But anyway, so everyone has that. So we're free and clear, free and clear. So first of all, I want to say one, I a person died who wreaked destruction wherever he went. I'm talking about Rush Limbaugh. I got that on my Twitter feed or one feed or whatever today, this morning. And it's, hate to say that, but he wreaked havoc. I mean, he was the division. If you looked up division, you see his name next to it. So, Trump is gone, Russia's gone. So I'm not going to say, I dream a genie it's going to be all better. No, but I think, people are falling by the wayside. They need to. And I'm not wishing death or destruction on anyone, but he had lung cancer. I don't know what lung is. Probably in inhalation, can't breathe. I don't know, but I'd have to look up the Louise Hayes definition when their lungs. I really appreciate her work in that book. But yeah, he really did a lot of. He was only 70. I say only 70 because I think so many people have lived way beyond that. But all of the money that he had, but if there's some anger lodged in your cells, etc., it will shine through. It will emanate. It will just be around and perhaps go into your cells. And so he died. I don't know if it was a tough ending. I don't know all of those details, but whew, but when you have someone like that, over $500 million he was worth. I looked him up. There are more people that will. It's only going to be. He already passed the baton. So I'm not saying that everything is going to go miraculously away, because white supremacy is in the veins of most of our oppressors. The open enemy, I will say that, not oppressor. So let's say open enemy. And I was struck by, thinking about Dylan Ruth and, people apologizing, and this thug was taken to Burger King, when he was captured. So what is really going on? Who are these people amongst us, in our midst? Because I'm not trying to say we have never pulled the trigger, we've never done heinous acts. I'm not saying that. But we've learned it from the best. We learned it from the best, because who are these people amongst us? How are they? They're school teachers, they're principals, they're law enforcement, they're throughout the community. And so these are the Beckys. These are, I don't know, I don't want to say Henry. Well, these are the Beckys and others. But this is where we are. This is where we are. In fact, interestingly, I received a text message from my neighbor. I guess I'm not trying to read between the lines, but I'm reading between the lines. Because her opening, not like, hi, how you doing, blah 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 blah. Oh, there's like, I don't even want to go into this. It's a lot, because I think well, anyway, she is letting me know that someone stole her. She had 2 deliveries today, and that someone stole. Now, I personally, I've left stuff outside. I left my Prius open, unlocked. It's never been ransacked. I've left my late father's jacket, sorry, Daddy, on the hood of my car, just rushing in and out, and thought I grabbed that. This was a year or so ago, but not recent. But this is not a crime-ridden area. This is definitely not. This is definitely not. I'm not in a gated community, but I've never lived in gated communities, but this is relatively safe area, you know. So for her to, and if I text her a couple of words, and then this is another. This is She starts out saying, "Wow, I am so frustrated right now. I had an Amazon package delivered today, just a piece for my shower. Someone stole it." See, I don't know if she's alluding to something. I don't know. I'm not saying, but you know, we don't get down like that. We don't like. I don't go over to her house for tea. She doesn't come over to my house for um I mean, we don't have that kind of relationship. We're neighbors. She came over the very first time. My contractor did a lot of work downstairs, a lot of work, really good work. And so she was considering using, she had gotten some quotes, and she said, well, Deanne, I would, is there a way I can come and see your house? Well, she wanted to see, just being nosy. She just wanted to see all of his work because he laid flooring, pergo, or, and he hung, I mean, he did a lot. He just transformed my lower level totally. So I was, I said, well, Sue, you can um come in, I mean, she has been here. I moved in first. 5 years will be May, will be 5 years. She moved in maybe 2.5 years ago, somewhere in there. And so she's never been in my home, but upon request, she asked, and she wanted to get some work done, and he's actually doing the work at her home. So I said, well, Sergio is excellent, he's good, blah, 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 yada, yada. So she wanted to see, and I was like, okay. And so it was like maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. And so she hired him. I said, well, he's not, he's this. I just told him his skill set is just really, really good. So, but I'm not saying that she is saying that. I don't know if she's looking at me like, huh? Because she doesn't like. It's not like, hey, Deanne, you know, we don't talk like that. We just don't. We have a neighborly relationship, and that's it. And so for her to send me a text of any magnitude, it's like she was locked out of her house about a week ago. And so she came over to my house and she said, oh, I'm locked out. Oh, it's just a little spastic. She's a little older than me, but maybe not much, maybe 2 or 3 years. But I mean, I don't know what to say, but this is where we are. The Beckys, of the world, the Kenneths, maybe that's another name I would use for a male, but um, they're just, I don't know how to even describe what is going on the planet, and definitely this country, with everything going on with the winter weather and this and that. And Biden talked yesterday. I caught a little bit of that. And it's just enough is enough. These people are crazy. I mean, I'm thinking of Dylan Ruth, that punk, who shot up those parishioners at Mother Emmanuel, I believe that was the church. I think it was South Carolina. And I know he's serving life, but I don't even know why he didn't get the death penalty. But I think South Carolina definitely has the death penalty. But we live in a biased society. If you look like me, you may decide that this country is just intense. Can you live your full self? Can you be authentic, your authentic self? Will this society support you being authentic? Your authentic self, unapologetically. Is that possible in this country as a Black or brown person? I don't know that to be true. I just don't know. Because the Beckys in the world, you know, last May, almost a year ago, the bird watcher in New York, that's why Malcolm said It's no different north and south, east or west. We're not, they say, oh, north is not, racist, blah, blah, blah. That is not so true. But anyway, so she called the police on this. I don't even know why she called the police. I don't know what initially happened. But even he didn't want to press charges, the brother didn't want to press charges or whatever she did to kind of egg him on. And that's what they do. He was in the park by himself, minding his own business, and people agitate. They instigate something. They're going to try to get that fire up inside of you. So you lash out and they have, oh, well, see, this is what they do. But you don't see the backstory. The backstory is just as important as what's front and center. But I don't know what's going on in this country. They are perhaps feeling that they're losing in some way. And so there's a reason for them to react. This is a reaction. Russia's gone now, and there's a rush being built right now in the basement of somebody's home out in wherever. But yeah, we don't have to resort to this because this is deadly. They typically just wreak havoc on all societies, California, Arizona, to Texas, to Milwaukee, to Idaho. It doesn't matter where we live. We might have a better chance in certain communities. I'm not going to say, but the overreaching energy on this planet right now is racism, division, not by Deanne standards. This is what I see. This is what I see on a daily basis. I usually have to dial back and just like, okay, it's enough. It's 12 o'clock noon, it's enough. But we don't even see all of the stories. We have the feeds and all like that. And I'm on TMZ, I think Sandra Rose, or, some of those I check, every other day or whatever. But this is clearly an illness. I believe this is an illness. Unfortunately, this is an illness. And so I'm talking to Caucasians right now because this is a sickness. This is truly, I hate to be blunt, but this is this is mental illness. Because if you can, George Floyd, if you can put your knee on the neck of someone, that is just like an hanging. That was about cutting off the air so his body would just a 9-minute death, slow death. Who does that? Who does it? This is why I am saying we need to have mental illness or checkpoints or whatever. Every police officer, past and present. But they don't want to do that because they know they're not going to have a force, because people are mentally ill in that I'm going to say 10 or 20% have mental illness. Because how can you be an officer of the law, and you do this type of heinous act? I mean, think about that, 9 minutes. And that man lost his life, lost his life. His life was taken. I want to say he lost his life. because he was definitely his life was taken. So pardon me, I misspoke. Water break. But this is mental illness at its best. Half of the police department, perhaps not fire department, I don't know about that, but police department for sure. And it's nationwide. It is nationwide because we very seldom see a story of triumph and compassion. Now, if Caucasians, yeah, every day. Because see, police officers don't even respond to Caucasians as they do us, period. That's even the justice system. Nobody can tell me otherwise because I've been on this planet long enough to know that this is how they get down. Okay. So that's not on the table for discussion because we know that to be factual. However, when you look at statistics of the people being put in prison disproportionately for drug offense, they're not harming anyone but themselves or even distributing or selling. And now, what, 10 or 15 states, it's legal for weed anyway. But this is what they do, the actions in the society to be so punitive with us, It's not a benefit of the doubt. Oh, well, this is a one-time, one strike. I think Clinton, perhaps I'm not speaking right on Clinton, the crime bill 94, that was probably Clinton, yeah. So that passed like one strike, you're out. I think that was the whole thing. And how did this impact society? There are people, creative people. I'm not trying to say everyone should be let out of jail. Please don't hear that. But let's say we have folks that are in jail, prison right now, serving a non-criminal crime. So didn't pull a knife, didn't pull a gun, someone didn't lose their life, but maybe the action, selling weed, whatever. They should be, if they've been in 2 years, let those people out. My God. This is how it's not a just system. Because if it had been set on a justice system, we wouldn't see all of this disproportionately to our people. But this is what they do. So you can't say, well, Black folks, melanated folks, disproportionately, rob, kill, blah, 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 blah. That's not true. They want you to believe that, but that is not true. Statistically, that is definitely not true. So we need to recognize that there's mental illness. That's all I can figure. It's got to be mental illness because you can't tell me Tamir Rice should be about 15 by now, or maybe 16. That young lady's son who was playing with a toy gun. Think about that. If you can't tell a difference between a toy gun and a real gun, you've got another motive. You have another intent. When you came out of that car, that squad car, you saw that child was brown, bang. He was dead. He just didn't even it just shocks the unconscionable. I mean, if you can't tell a difference between a toy gun and a real gun, you shouldn't be on the force. Hands down. You should not be on the force. Because if you can't tell that type of difference, and that young man is 6 feet under, 12 years on this planet, 12 years on this planet. And that was probably 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, it's been so much, so many. So we have to do our due diligence to stay out of the fray. I see a police officer, I go this way, they go that way. No, no, no. Because I remember I had an incident at my home, not this one, but my apartment I rented when I first got here. And I had a front glass, my living room had a glass window. That was in my living room. So I had a little small patio, and then I had upstairs 2 bedrooms, and then 1.5 baths. It was a really cute place. And so I know the person, but someone threw a brick in broke the glass. Okay, broke the glass. And so because didn't have any incident, I don't have a record, I don't have anything, nothing. So because I know how this society works, I didn't want to take a chance, I hate to say it. And I had one of my Caucasian friends. She didn't live too far from where I lived at that time. And she came over and sat with me to wait for the police, So that's what we have to do, unfortunately, because they could have turned the tables on me. I broke the glass, So I wanted to say, okay, Etta, you're going to be right here. When they come in, they're going to see your creamy face, and they will probably take it down a few notches. Okay. But we have to be strategic. That was a strategic move. I know she knew it. And that's what we are. And that was like 5 years ago. I first moved out here. So I say all that to say, when people do show you who they are, believe them. Is that person who killed Tamir Rice, is he still on the force? I wonder if he is still on the force. And has it happened again and again and again? It just happens so much, we become desensitized. We don't even blink an eye too much. The young lady who was killed, I guess a couple of weeks ago, she was pregnant, and there was a couple. I think the guy, he looked kind of biracially, somewhere in there. Biracial, I don't want to make up a word, but he looked biracial. And the Becky was the accomplice, or the other way around. But 9 months pregnant. And this is North Carolina. This is the state I used to live in. So I don't know if she knew her attackers or assailants or whoever did this. I don't know if there was a relationship. That woman was 9 months pregnant. That Black woman would have been giving birth right now. So it's just sickening. Only a sick, demented mind can do that. No one else. So I'm saying there's mental illness in the police force across the country. I'm not saying, I'm going to say maybe 40%, because you can't say you didn't see color. That's impossible. So when people, oh, I don't know if he was black or white. I'm not sure. And fool, people, the color, I'm coming in, I'm black, I'm brown, or whatever. Oh, I don't know. I don't see color. Kumbaya, kumbaya. We are one. We are one. No, we definitely see color. That's where we present ourselves. I remember when I started applying for work, after school, and my name is not usual for a black person and a melanated person. And so I had, this was like back in the early, yeah, probably back in the mid to late 80s into the 90s, so forth. And my name, Deanne, that's now Diane, but not Deanne. And so the last name, throws you. And it's like, okay, is she black or white? Oh my gosh, she's white. Oh my God, oh, is she black? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So you kind of try to dissect my name. And then when I come in the room, people have to kind of, readdress and, go back to the drawing board. But I am so glad that my parents named me as they named me, because my mother's side of the family, they started calling me Dee Dee from a child, They still call me Dee Dee. But my father's side, they call me Deanne all day long. Deanne. I don't even get Dee Dee. But I didn't want to be a 50-year-old Dee Dee, and I was like, let me nip this in the bud. So my family, my mother's family, they definitely call me Dee Dee. And they don't even know, they may not even know my name is Deanne, but they've been calling me Dee Dee forever. So that's cool. But, intimate settings, friends, family, I get it. I get it. But, I didn't want to be a 50-year-old Deanne. 50-year-old Dee Dee, and that's why I nipped that in the bud. But we definitely need to see this as a mental illness case. These are cases that people should not be able to take life. If you're police officers, and if you know you have mental illness and you're on pills, they should do a drug sweep, test all the detectives, everything, on down the list. Just test them, random tests. I would like to see that. My tax dollars paying for that, because you probably catch 10 or 20%, if not 30, 40%, using drugs, opioids or downers or whatever. It's a stressful job. I get it. I totally get it. But you want the very best that can differentiate truth from fiction. And that's what we're not getting. That is not what we're getting. And so I think it is a mental illness. These Beckys, maybe mean spirited. My mother would say mean spirited. It could be that. It could be it's a combination: mental illness, mean spirited, DNA, etc. So we cannot give them a pass at any level, because this is in the soup and sauce of this society. This is in the soup and the sauce. And so enough is really enough. So I thank you for listening, tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe to the Melanin Report 360. And, I just wanted to offer that up of saying, what is going on? What is going on? We are literally kind of desensitized. We see so much of it, you know, police officers, blah, blah, blah. We know the story. We don't have to go through it all over again, but we know statistically the story. Tamir Rice, George Floyd. I mean, Breonna Taylor. How do you go into a home and take a life and then there's no charges? This is insane. This is truly insane. I mean, her fiance, they couldn't even revive that child because she had like 8 or 9 bullets in her. This is inhumane way. Even if they, let's just say, benefit of the doubt, let's just say there were drugs, doing some illegal activity. Why not arrest the people? Why not, do a sweep, police, open up, blah, blah, blah. We got a warrant. No knock warrant. Is that still on the books? I'm saying we got to start asking these questions because a lot of things, we always go into the next story because there's so many. The next story, back to the next story, back to the next story. And that story, surprisingly, did not hit national news. It may in a few months, but it did not hit national. I'm talking national news. I'm talking about the 9-month pregnant sister that was killed. That should have been national news. I didn't see it out here, you know. So mental illness, a lot of these people are feeling less than. They might have we excel in every area. And so, they could feel inadequate. I don't know the capacity of that, but it needs to be checked. It needs to be checked soon because people are being killed. The man, I think it was Milwaukee, I can't remember. The guy held his t-shirt and was just putting bullets in his back, and he's paralyzed now. Floyd. Well, anyway, like I said, there's so many. Sandra Bland, that one continues to really upset my soul. But a new day is coming because there's a lot of pain and suffering that we have been in this country as long as we have, and we are still talking about the same crazy things that have been happening to us and our sisters and our brothers. So we'll come back tomorrow and have a little bit more discussion. I don't know about the topic tomorrow. I'm going to feel it through over my rest of sleep and wake up with a topic for tomorrow. But thank you for tuning in. And my name is Deanne, the Melanin Report 360. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Peace.